So in the last two videos, we created a console window with a graphical user interface that lets us sort of test the code and show the time and date. I'm going to leave that as is because we might script that again for all of our games, and it's generally a good idea to have a console window. It's definitely a good idea to have one whenever you're coding. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start on our HUD in this video, and I'm going to show you how really easy it is to just create a simple coin collecting game. Or HUD for our coin collecting game rather. So remember what I told you before, our game manager controls the entire universe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my game manager script so that it inside of my game manager is where we'll actually control our heads-up display. Now remember what I told you last time, a HUD is part of the GUI. So under void start here, I'm just going to type void on GUI, and I'm going to create a GUI dot label. Now a label is different than the other ones because it's sort of a text interface. Okay, and I want to jump over to my console window, grab this execute in edit mode because I want to be able to edit this in real time. Okay, and wrong one. I want to do that in my game manager. There we go. Alright, so in here, we're going to do GUI label. We're going to do a new rect again. Again, it takes two parameters. The second parameter, I'm going to plug in my coins collected. So let's do plus coins collected. Coins collected. And in this, we're going to do we're going to plug in some values here. So remember, it takes 4 values. So let's make sure we don't have too many here. So 0, 0, and 0, and we do have too many. Okay. So let's plug in some values that all right, and we want to do actually coins collected here dot toString. I just caught that. So that's going to actually be able to, because it sends a string value here. So if you do coins collected.string, it's going to send some weird hex value. Alright, I'm going to introduce you to something else here. It's called screen.width. So we're setting our x value to screen.width minus 100. So this is a good way of finding even the center of a screen. You can do screen.width divided by 2, it'll find the center. And then we'll do 10, 100. Remember, this is the width of our box, and this is the height. Alright, I'm going to hit Control S here to save this. It looks like there's an error. Oh, I need a semicolon. So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the entire code. Feel free to pause it to double check your code. Alright, and what I normally do, guys, is if I'm ever watching a video online or a tutorial or whatever, I'll actually handwrite the entire tutorial out before I even type it in. Okay, so Control S, let's jump back into Unity here, press play, and screen.width, it's a lowercase w. Okay, and it's actually a good thing to sort of let's get rid of this for a second. If that was what our error. Alright. String. ToString is an actual method, so you have to put the parentheses behind it. Okay, that's the clean code, I believe. Let's check. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the code so you guys can freeze the screen, double check that you have it written. So again, really simple HUD. I made it a little bit more complicated with all the errors. But let's see how that looks when I press play. Alright, so we have our coins collected here. Because our game is extremely short, let's hurry up and run and grab this coin. Boom, you can see we get 2 there, and try again. So we've got the makings of a HUD, and so when we go to build our game, you can see that it appears right there. Okay, the next thing we want to do is edit the overall appearance of this 0, because it's kind of ugly. Now GUI has a separate, or Unity's on GUI has a separate method, or I'm sorry, separate class called GUI style. And what that allows us to do is edit the overall style and look, and that's font size and color and stuff like that. So let's take a look at that. So the first thing you have to do in order to edit that is you have to create a new variable that's an element of that, and then use that to sort of edit the entire look of the GUI itself. So how do we do that? Well, first you write GUI style, and then we're going to make a variable called myStyle, and we're going to make it a new element of GUI style. So let's do GUI style again, and remember that this is a method, so we have to do that, semicolon. I'm going to make this a capital M because it's a new element. So let's take a look at something. So we can say myStyle dot, and it tells us this is going to give us all this cool stuff. Dot, we're going to say normal. So we're just saying that the normal text color is equal to is equal to red. Actually, you know what? It's color.red. Sorry, I'm reaching my. You can see there's all these other colors in here. I'm just going to do red because it'll stand out better against the background. Okay, let's get rid of this. So I'm going to hit Control S. Now, what we have to say here is coins collected to string. We're going to plug inside of here, comma, myStyle. And what that does is all the features that we plugged into myStyle here, for example, red, is going to be included in this label. All right, so that's our third parameter. So let's see if that worked. And you can see that now that 0 is red. Okay, so there's a couple ways we can approach this. So say we want to increase the size. So if we go to say myStyle.size, you can see there's all this stuff, color size, font size here, and all this other stuff. But this can get a little overwhelming if you have so many different attributes. So say you want to create you can also do this another way. You can create your own GUI style class, type in all these features, and then you just call the class and plug the class in here, and it'll actually update that way. There's actually a third method which is even easier, and that's what Uni gives us, and it's actually called a GUI skin, and that is located, I believe it's under create. So create other GUI skin. Oh, it's actually under assets, create GUI skin. And you'll notice here this custom skin class, so we can name this like HUD, for example, already has all of these things in there, a text field, text area, and all this other stuff. And this would actually help us to greatly increase the look of our field. So you can see font, Arial, and I'll show you how to grab fonts from 1,000 free fonts, and you just drag it in and they actually work. So GUI skin is sort of it's an actually much faster and better way for us to edit the skin without having to code everything. So in the next tutorial, I'll show you how to hook this up.